A very warm welcome to finals day on week 3 of the UK Pro League. Now, the first two events staged here at Loughborough University have helped us to improve our chemistry, our physics, and our mechanical, electrical, and manufacturing skills. But much more importantly, it's provided us with some dramatic and high-quality tennis. And along the way, we have witnessed the emergence of two players that have taken the event by storm.
Game, set, match to Emily Appleton. She is the week 2 champion.
Definitely feels good. Can't really complain with the start that I've had in this tournament, winning weeks 1 and 2. So yeah, just trying to take that confidence and momentum into week 3.
Anton Matusevic is the week 2 winner.
It's a nice little confidence boost. Obviously I came third in the Pro League week 1, so it's good to win the Pro League week 2. Played some very good tennis, got used to the conditions more, returned way better, very good from the back, and yeah, feeling pretty good and just happy to be back here for week 3.
I definitely think I'm the person to beat. Yeah, there's a big red flag above my head that people are trying to follow, but it's almost a compliment in a way, so yeah, just trying to take it in my stride and take each match as it comes.
I feel some pressure as well, but the more you start thinking about the scoreline and all that, the more that you get caught up, you might get tired. Just try to just win every point, win every game, hold your serve and look to break. That's really it.
I've been working hard over the lockdown, over Christmas, and I'm very happy to see what I've been putting onto the practice court, coming onto the match court.
My personal expectations are ideally to get to the final, but I've got exams coming up, so I have to actually go revise after this. So, but no, obviously I want to try to win the tournament as well, so trying to just combine the two and do my best.
I took some time off after week 2, so I had a few days off there, but yeah, I was trying to focus on getting ready for week 3 during Easter, so maybe I'll celebrate after this week.
Yes, the form of Emily Appleton and Anton Matusevic has been quite remarkable. Emily today goes for her 20th win out of 21 in the league, while Anton is bidding to extend his winning sequence to 15. Gigi Salmon is alongside me. Gigi, what has made those two such dominant forces so far?
It's lovely to be with you once again, and can I say, isn't it nice it's getting a little bit warmer? Finally, the coats, well, the same for you, they're coming off.
You're very flowery.
Thank you very much. In terms of Anton Matusevic and Emily Appleton, Matusevic was the highest ranked male player for the first 2 weeks. He had the expectation, said he felt the nerves, but I think he's quite enjoyed it. For Emily Appleton, these were her first matches of 2021. Again, one of the higher ranked players. What both of them have got in common, together with the confidence they've been building, are a massive weapon in their serve, and they've utilised it perfectly on these hard courts here at Loughborough.
It's not just been about those two. Who else has caught your eye this week?
Someone we're going to see shortly who sadly couldn't make it through the semi-final stage in Sonnet Cartel, but also really nice to see Jack Draper here. I was actually commentating on his match when he made his ATP Tour debut in Miami at the Masters. Sadly, the conditions were too much, but really nice to see him come here, get a few matches under his belt, and I'm sure we're going to see him again because we've got, 8 weeks of this competition before we get to finals week.
Absolutely, there's an awful lot that can happen before the end of the year. Let's just clarify the situation in terms of the standings at the beginning of this week. Now, don't forget, it's 18 points if you win, 15 points for second place, 12 points if you come third, and 10 points if you are fourth. Matusevic leading the way, a handy lead already, of course, before he adds to his tally at the end of the day. Billy Harris has been a very consistent performer. Likewise, Dan Cox and Mark Whitehouse caught the eye. And a similar story, Gigi, as far as the women are concerned.
Yeah, also worth highlighting Emily Appleton and the 2 victories from the 2 weeks, and Beth Gray, who's not here this week. But we should say it's also about the money they are making. So the winner, Emily Appleton, the first 2 weeks, each week has taken home over £4,000, £4,250, and they are working towards one of the 9 automatic qualification spots for finals week at the start of December.
Well, semi-final Saturday always throws up some drama, some unexpected storylines, and it was a similar case of that yesterday. A little bit of disappointment along the way as well for a couple of the players, as Gigi has hinted to. But let's just show you exactly what happened and how we have ended up with this situation. Very, very tight matches, but also some injury concerns, and that had an effect in this first women's semi-final. Freya Christie had an ankle problem while playing against Elise Maloney, and when you're playing Maloney, if you've got any sort of an injury, you're going to be in trouble.
You are going to be in trouble. Freya Christie, unfortunately for her, aggravated the ankle problem midway through this match. And then suddenly physically you're not at 100%, and you're playing someone whose standout qualities together with their mentality are their movement. It is going to come a struggle, and as we see here, Elise Maloney was able to wrap things up comfortably in straight sets, so we just hope that Freya Christie recovers soon.
Yeah, because Freya has been one of the forces during the first 3 weeks as well. This was the real disappointment for Sonia Cartel, who made a real impression. She'd won match after match, but having gone a set down to Emily Appleton yesterday, she had to call it a day.
Yeah, debut in the tournament. She'd got 5 wins out of 5. Really, really impressive. It was an ab injury. It was a very competitive first set, but understandably, she didn't want to take a risk with an injury because she hasn't played so far this year.
As far as the men are concerned, well, Henry Patton and Julian Cash produced a really tight contest, and in the end it came down to a couple of points at the end of both sets.
And for Julian Cash, it's missed chances, missed opportunities. He was 0-11 in break points in this contest against his good friend Henry Patton, who did not have one break point opportunity. It was very tight between the two. Patton on his debut at the UK Pro League, but he's played an awful lot of matches this year, 20 in total in India at the start of the year. A large portion of those on the singles court, so he was ready for this tournament, but he took his opportunities when they came along.
Yeah, and then we had the very lively Anton Matusevic, who was given a battle by George Houghton.
This was a lot of fun. This was a great way to end the day. It was ferocious, it was fierce, and George Houghton, who was a wild card into this event at the start, being a former student at Loughborough, he stood toe-to-toe with Matusevic. He had his opportunities, but Matusevic just proved too strong in the end.
He's a bundle of energy, is Anton Matusevic. Whatever he's doing, he gives his all. So the action yesterday has led to this order today. Huge disappointment that we will not have a women's third place playoff because of the injury to Sonia Cartel. So Freya Christie is awarded the victory, but we've got Emily Appleton and Elise Maloney coming up. Then, not before 1 o'clock, the men's third place playoff featuring Julian Cash and George Houghton before Anton Matusevic looks to make it 15 wins out of 15 against Henry Patton. We wanted rivalries to develop, Gigi, during the course of these weeks, and certainly with regards to this women's final, we've got exactly that. Which of the players do you think will feel more pressure walking out for this match?
There is an argument for both, but I'm going to say Emily Appleton. It's the 7th meeting between them. It's 3 apiece. It's 2-1 in the UK Pro League in favour of Appleton. She won the first 2 weeks, but she suffered that defeat to Maloney on day 2. And you could say, yes, but she's had plenty of time and she's come through and she's got the confidence back. But she is the winner of the first 2 weeks, so I think she will feel slightly more pressure coming into this.
Although equally, having come so close last time, Elise will obviously want to go one better, won't she?
Yeah, we always have opposite views, don't we?
It's just healthy conversation.
It's our rivalry.
That's all it is. Oh yes, there's a bit of intense rivalry between us, of course. Right, it's time to welcome the players onto court. And we start with 21-year-old Emily Appleton, who comes from Woking and, of course, knows what this is all about. Strong, aggressive player with a big serve and forehand. She's been magnificent for 3 weeks, suffering just that one defeat that we've mentioned, and she is now looking to complete a hat-trick of victories, watched very closely by her coach, David Collins, who we bumped into in the hotel last night. He was popping out to get some food. He's quietly confident that his player is going to do the business again. But it will not be easy against Elise Maloney, who is 20 years of age. She was actually brought up in Cyprus, but she now resides in Rickmansworth. She was only 8th in week 1, but she really caught the eye in week 2, winning a thrilling semi-final against Beth Gray before losing to Emily Appleton in the final. Of course, she's beaten her during the week, and now comes the next instalment. So we've got 2 players in fine form, but when it comes to the perfect player in terms of all those who have been competing this week, who's best at what, according to their contemporaries?
Emily Appleton definitely has the best serve here. It's been really consistent. I hit 5 aces, I think, in week 1 in a row. So yeah, trying to keep going and maybe break the world record, which I think is 10.
Best volley, I would go Olivia Nichols. I know she's a really good doubles player, great touch.
Elise Maloney has the best movement because she's always getting the next ball back. Elise definitely has the best movement. She scraps around the court and is tough to get the ball past.
Freya Christie, I think, has the best forehand here. She's very powerful. That definitely comes across in that shot.
Freya Christie has the best forehand because it's the hardest.
Elise Maloney has the best mentality. She's always very focused, stays quite calm.
Alice Gillen. It's a very flat backhand, and I've seen that it's been in the corners quite a lot.
I think Alice has the best backhand. When she makes contact, it's killer shot.
So the two finalists ticking plenty of boxes. What's going to be the key ingredient in this final, Gigi?
I think for me it's Emily Appleton's serve. It's such a big weapon for her. She has such an aggressive game style. We know the movement of Maloney, if she's fit, is going to be firing together with the mentality. So for me it's really going to be the serve of Emily Appleton.
OK, well, let's hear what both players had to say after their semi-final victories yesterday. First of all, Elise talking with Jenny Drummond.
Elise, congratulations in the final for the second consecutive week. How pleased are you with your performance out there today?
So happy. Definitely wasn't an easy one. I played fair last week. I'm just happy to get through it.
And what do you think you did particularly well today?
I think I stuck to my strengths. I tried to keep looking for my backhand where I could and just stay solid.
You're up against Emily Appleton, who you played in the final in week 2, or Sunny Cartal in the final. What do you think of both of those opponents?
Well, I've played Emily 3 times now, so I know what to expect. She's obviously serving very well, playing some big tennis. I haven't played Sonne yet out here, but I've seen her and she's hitting a really good ball too.
So looking forward to it then?
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, of course, you'll have to wait a little longer to play Sonny for the first time. It is Emily Appleton once again for Elise, and this is what Emily had to say after her victory.
Emily, congratulations into your 3rd successive UK Pro League final. Maybe not the way you wanted to get there though. How do you reflect on that match?
Yeah, definitely not the way I wanted to come through to the final. I hope Sonne is feeling better for tomorrow. But really pleased with the way I started to play at the end of that set and looking forward to tomorrow.
You're up against Elise Maloney. I'm sure looking forward to another battle. You beat her in the final of week 2, but lost to her this week. What are your thoughts on that encounter?
Yeah, we always have a good battle when we play, but I'm looking forward to it, and it'll be good to get a rematch from earlier this week. I think if I can just play the way I want to play, then yeah, I'll stand a good chance.
Well, thanks very much. Well done today, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, we're definitely all looking forward to this one. OK, Emily's over your shoulders and you're such a chicken that you'll probably call her just because she might hear you. But seriously, who do you think is going to win today?
I was planning on abstaining, but I thought I'd never live it down. But I'm going to say that the serve is going to be firing and Emily Appleton will make it 3 out of 3.
I knew she'd say that, and if Elise Maloney was practicing behind her, she'd have gone for the other player. That's Gigi Salmon in a nutshell. Thank you, Gigi. More from you later. Let's head up to the commentary box. Waiting for us there, it's Calvin Betton and Jenny Drummond.
Thanks very much, Marcus. Well, good afternoon. Welcome along to the Week 3 UK Pro League Women's Final. In a repeat of the Week 2 final, Emily Appleton continuing her quest for a 3rd successive week victory, while that woman in your picture, Elise Maloney, is looking to go one better and be crowned the Week 3 winner. And Jenny Drummond alongside me in the commentary box, bringing us the coaching insight, Calvin Betton. Calvin, both players full of confidence, playing well. What are your thoughts on this encounter?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, this one, isn't it? It's really a battle of the extreme forehand grips, really. And Elise has quite a continental grip that you don't see very much, and Emily she's got nearly a full Western, I'd say, although it's not quite as extreme as she used to have. But that's I think what makes this sort of an interesting contest, because a difficult thing in tennis is changing spins, changing directions, and changing speeds. And each one of these, if they go forehand to forehand, they're going to have to change the spin every ball, because Elise is going to hit quite a flat ball. Emily a bit more top spin, a bit harder.
Yes, certainly set to be another battle. Both players are certainly ready for that. Well, Elise comes into today on a 6-match winning streak. She's undefeated this week, and she's even beaten her opponent this week as well. How much confidence will that give her today?
Oh, it's a big game changer, that one. After losing to her a couple of times in the last couple of weeks, to sort of let herself know that she can win that match is going to be it's big, very big for her.
But having said that, is maybe having a loss in the week for Emily Appleton, because she's the winner of week 1 and week 2, is that maybe giving her a bit of a reality check? Because the time to lose is in the group stages.
Yeah, definitely. It's easy, as ridiculous as this may seem, it's easy to forget how to play from behind. And I think that's maybe the stage where Emily got to. She was just cruising so many matches that she forgot to play how to play when she was behind in a set, behind in a match, a set down, that kind of thing. So it just sort of freshens it up, just gives her a little bit of a wake-up call.
Yeah, and she said that she felt a little bit of expectation and pressure as well, having been undefeated until that day. She has an incredible record here at the UK Pro League, looking for her 20th win. So, ladies' final of week 3, the UK Pro League, between Elise Maloney and Emily Appleton. Maloney to get us underway.
Not much of an interesting tactical battle, this one. I think it's going to be pretty well set what each player is going to do. Elise is going to try and be solid, play from the baseline, not miss many balls, move Emily around, whereas Emily's going to be definitely more on the attack.
Well, certainly in their meeting earlier on in the week, Appleton didn't look as aggressive as she normally likes to play, and maybe that was related to the weight of expectation that she maybe put on her own shoulders.
It's interesting in the little infographic that we got before the match there that Elise said her favourite shot is inside-out backhand. I think you'd have to go through a fair few of those players to find a player that says their favourite shot is inside-out backhand.
It's not the go-to favourite shot, but if you've never watched Elise Maloney play, you'll certainly see her do it numerous times.
That can be really difficult for opponents as well when that sort of thing happens, that they're facing a type of ball that they don't normally face in practice or in other matches, so it makes things more complicated. It's a huge forehand. Really setting a stall out there. I think she's trying to let Elise know that she can't just put the ball in. She's going to go after her in this match.
Well, it was interesting yesterday in the semi-final match between Maloney and Christie. There was a lot of balls hit, but Christie couldn't find a way past Maloney. She was a brick wall at the back of the court.
Again, all over that. No, any drop in pace, Emily's going to go after it.
Well, what would David Collins have said to Emily after the loss earlier on in the week? Her mum was with her for the first 4 days, and David came up on Friday. What do you think he would have said to her rather?
Well, Sally, Sally, who's Emily's mum, I know Sally relatively well, and Sally knows her tennis, so I think she'd have got good advice from Sally as well. So I think Dave would probably just have been echoing what Sally had said to her. Oh, it's a lovely touch.
Well, Emily Appleton off to a flying start. I'm sure there was a little bit of an asterisk on that shot from Dave Collins in the notebook.
Yeah, he'd have been happy with that one. And it's
So-
good that she can hit those winners early doors, because like I was saying then, it's difficult to hit the balls that you want to hit off when you're receiving balls that you don't normally get. You can't practice against a player like Elise Maloney unless you're practicing with Elise Maloney, because no one will hit that type of ball.
So a perfect start for the week 1 and week 2 winner. Looking for a third successive week win is Emily Appleton. It's quite remarkable to say that she's already won 20 matches this year. That's a lot of matches to win.
Yeah, that would normally see you take about a 400 place skip in the ranking if you've won 20 matches.
The hunt is on for the tennis balls. No ball kids or line judges here at the UK Pro League due to the pandemic. So the players are...
Back to the junior tennis days here. I think. This is where one of them would be pulling out an old ball and not telling the other player about it. Maybe a mini red ball or something.
So bringing out some alternatives, but it's funny seeing how all the players like to settle before they serve as well. So many of them want all 4 balls right behind them. They've all got their different quirks.
Yeah.
Well, we're all sorted.
Nice touch. But for anyone who doesn't know, when that sort of situation happens, where we lose a ball, the umpire will try and find an older ball that is in the same condition as the new balls. But it would be quite difficult. He's got to find a ball that is 1 game old. So,
a warm-up in 1 game,
yeah,
it's not the easiest. Going for the second serve, though, down the tee.
She's definitely set her stall out to be more aggressive than she was when they played earlier on in the week. And it's always the way that Emily's at her best, when she's more aggressive, when she's getting to the net. She's a fantastic volleyer, a really good doubles player. Big serve, big forehand, but a really good volleyer.
Yeah, she did say that she was a little bit tighter earlier on in the week, and she plays her best tennis when she's relaxed and she's swinging. Certainly at the beginning of this match, she looks to be very confident. But we know that Maloney is such a fighter.
Yeah, she won't go away. She'll be here right until the last point, Elise.
Well, we saw that fighting spirit of Maloney in week 2 when she came through absolute battle of a semi-final match against Beth Gray, trailed by a set and 5-1, faced 6 match points.
Yeah, phenomenal stuff.
Somehow played her way to victory.
Hasn't affected Beth too much though. So she was in the final out in Sham this week, so she had a good week out there.
A few of the Brits doing well out there. Paul Jubb.
He's won this
winning,
morning, yeah.
Winning another title.
30-40. Yeah, there's a lot of Brits out there. Luke Johnson made the quarterfinals. Paul Jubb won. Beth Gray's in the semi, and I think Alicia Barnett won the doubles as well.
So going between Sharm el Sheikh and the UK Pro League are many of the
Yeah.
British players right now. And the good thing about the Pro League is that the prize money is so good, it means that the players are able to afford to go and play elsewhere.
Absolutely, yeah. Those guys, it's not cheap out there. They'll be going through about £500 a week on accommodation, food, travel, that kind of thing. So this kind of money just makes this a game changer for them.
Yeah, £4,250 the winner gets.
To give some balance on that, that's more than 3 times what they get for winning a world ranking event.
Big money at stake.
She's definitely going after that second serve.
Now a chance for Maloney to break right back.
She's so good at saving break points, though, Emily. The 2 weeks that she's won it, she's saved so many break points.
When you've got such a good first serve, she gets a lot of cheap points off it. She serves a lot of aces. She's already served a game of aces in the UK Pro League this year. Did it last year as well.
Yeah. Going for a bit serve volley there as well, although she missed that one. She'll not want to be let Elise set in the match. That's one thing that Emily will have set out to not want to happen. She doesn't want Elise to be sort of planting herself in the middle of the baseline and just rolling balls back in. Keep the rally short, mix up the paces. I think Elise is going to have to do better than that on the second serves. When she gets a look at her second serve, she's going to have to do more than just roll the ball into the service line.
Yeah, you mentioned that Appleton saves so many break points. How do you break the Appleton serve?
I think it's a case when somebody's so dominant on serve, it's a case of taking every point at a time, trying to get one of the first 2 points, and then working on that basis. Right, I'm going to get one of the first 2 points, and then if you do that, I'm going to get one of the next 2 points, and then you get a chance. It's all about taking the opportunities.
Well, Maloney took her opportunity there.
Yeah.
Let off the hook by Appleton, who had that point on her racket.
Yeah, you almost were saying, how do you break her serve? You've almost got to accept that Emily's going to win most points when she gets her first serve in. You've really got to set your stall out to win the second serve points. Make sure you're winning more than 50% of the second serve return points. Then you're going to have a chance. Another big first serve there.
Advantage, Appleton.
Well, this game is turning into a bit of a battle.
There looked to be a little bit of tension in that forehand there from Emily. She didn't quite let the racket go on it, not the muscle relaxation that she and Dave would want. She can really unload on that one at times.
Advantage, Appleton.
But when you can do that, it always helps.
Manages to regroup very quickly too.
I don't know yet at this stage whether it's a set tactic, but she seems to be aiming the serve more at the forehand. Let's see what Elise brings here on the second serve. Bit scrappy from both players in this game, isn't it?
From what was a very confident opening game from Appleton. She's looking a little bit nervy.
Yeah. I mean, the girls are going to be a little bit nervy. There's a lot of money at stake. A bit of pride as well.
And 18 points, of course, for the winner. All these players aiming to qualify for the finals week in December.
She always looks really zen, at least, doesn't she? Completely unfazed.
Both really nice girls off the court.
Pushing a little bit too much on that one. Yeah, Elise has this remarkable ability to not let the scoreboard seem to phase her at all. She plays the same way, the same quality with every single, whatever the point is.
So A second breakpoint chance for Maloney.
Yeah, second serve on the breakpoint now. Really smart play from Emily there, but the thing what Elise's going to have to really get on top of is she doesn't have the huge weapons that's going to deter Emily from attacking, so she's got to keep her length. She'll be a bit disappointed with the length she's kept in that rally there. 2 balls inside the service line. It gave Emily the chance to come in, and it was a little bit of a bluff that she came in with. If Elise's going to win this match, her length's going to have to be really good, I think.
Yeah, short ball. Appleton will certainly look to take advantage of it.
Wait, please. Advantage Appleton.
Very long second game.
It already feels like a bit of a big game, this one, doesn't it?
We often see, after a long battle of a game, one player going streaks ahead.
Scrappy there. I don't think that's the kind of point that neither player will be happy with, because Elise's got a second serve and rolled it inside the service line again, and Emily's missed a short forehand.
At the moment, it's the errors that are creeping in. Back to juice we go.
Which, as strange as it seems, will suit Elise. She, with the scrappier the match gets, I think she'd be more comfortable than that with it than Emily will be. Oh wow. There must have been a little bit of frame on that.
Complete mishit from Appleton. Looked round at Coach Dave Collins too, as if to say, what happened?
Don't think Dave's thought of that one.
What's the note on that?
That's always one of those when you're charting it, like what do you put for that? You can't put went in the net. It doesn't quite do it justice.
I did ask him if he doodles on his page, but keeps it strictly to charting.
Oh, a lucky break there. Yeah, the match charting is always one. It's a weird one for us coaches, because we all kind of do it, but like 99% of the time we don't even look at them once we've finished doing them. So just got reams of charting paper that we never go back to.
Well, according to Dave Collins, he goes through it very thoroughly with Appleton at the end of each match.
I think it's more a situation where if there's one thing that you can highlight, then it's useful. But a lot of the time, it just brings out the same things. Oh, absolute net cord fest in this match now.
We used to have to do it for each other's matches when we were away on ITF trips.
Yeah, I've seen that. They like to make the kids do that. some interesting stats come back. Often it just gives the coach something to do. It can be a bit tense for the coach out there and just gives you something to write down.
And I guess for the kids as well, or the players, they're having to support the player they're with. They're having to learn some new skills, dial into what else is going on.
Yeah.
Big point. Both players, Appleton.
It's good play there from Emily because she's jumped on the first short ball that Elisa's hit there, really. She's got to wait for those opportunities and really go after them.
This game, though, it's got to be about 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, I say it's a big game, but you the way that Elise is, you kind of get the feeling it's probably a bigger game for Emily than Elise. Elise could lose it and there'll be no reaction at all from her. That's a good finish.
Advantage Appleton.
20 minutes this game has been.
Wow.
And Maloney does like a fight on the court. Has a lot of long matches in the bag. As fit as a fiddle after her semi-final battle against Beth Gray. She said she was feeling fine.
Yeah, the girls they can play a lot, and especially Elise, she's prepares herself to play these long rallies. That's big shot to finish. Really let that one go. Much more relaxation.
Appleton leads 2 games to love.
What a big game that could turn out to be. Appleton saving 3 break points. And gets the better of Maloney in that 20-minute battle. So Appleton consolidating the break of serve, and no doubt will look to step in here in Maloney's service game.
Yeah, she's got a free game here, really. You can have a free hit at this one. I always think if you break and then consolidate, that's a good time to not let your foot off the gas, but maybe experiment a little bit more. Try a few shots that you wouldn't do if the match is tighter. Two really good backhands there from Elise. Again, the length of the first one set her up for the second ball. That's already becoming a key aspect of this match, I think. Can Elise keep the length to keep Emily away from the net, away from the forecourt, so she can have a swing at those big forehands.
30 love.
Elise was 30 love up in her first game as well, wasn't she? So she'll definitely want to be taking advantage here. That'll help.
40 love.
Some big serving from Maloney. Gets herself on the board. Appleton with the break though, leading 2-1. Welcome back to Dan Maskell Tennis Centre here at Loughborough University. The women's final is underway here in week 3 of the UK Pro League. And what a battle it's been. The second game of the match lasting just over 20 minutes. It is Emily Appleton, the winner of weeks 1 and 2, who has the early break. Well, we're certainly all set for a big battle this afternoon.
Really good defence there from Elise, really good neutralising shot. Emily hit a big backhand down the line, and Elise managed to get that back really deep.
Yeah, moves around the court so well. Certainly her movement is one of her biggest weapons. Worked hard on her fitness during lockdown.
A little bit of an opening.
Love 30.
Lovely 1-2 punch from Appleton. Under pressure too, came up with the goods.
Yeah, she's very good at doing that. It's a really strange match so far. I'm just looking at the receiver points won, and Elise has won 4 times, 3 times as many points when receiving serve as Emily has, and Emily's a break up. Elise has won 14 points when receiving serve, and Emily's only won 4.
A lovely passing shot from Maloney there.
It's a good pass, but Emily would be disappointed she didn't do much with that approach shot, especially into going into Elise's backhand. Elise's going to eat those up 9 times out of 10.
Now Maloney, 2 break points. Had 3 chances in the previous Appleton service game. One snuffed out.
30, 40.
I'd be surprised if we don't see Emily serving a lot more, serving and volleying to a lot more of Elise's forehand. She's not really going to get it low to her. She'll struggle to dip that ball at her feet. She doesn't hit much topspin on it. Emily will normally get the volley if she can. But she doesn't need to. She's just going to clean up third balls like the last 2 points.
She makes it look so easy. Accurate first serve and then massive second shot.
The first serve's so key. A load of net cords so far, isn't there? Both on the serve and in the ground stroke.
And this is not a forgiving net.
No. think if Dan Cox was here, he'd be asking for this net to be checked.
Competing in Egypt as well, Dan Cox. As Maloney actually began the year playing a couple of the ITFs out there as well.
Yeah, for players of this level, that's sort of the circuit that they're on now. There's tournaments every week in Egypt, Tunisia and Turkey, and about sort of 20 a year in Greece. So you find most of the guys who are ranked somewhere between 2,000 and 500, they spend a hell of a lot of time in those 4 countries. I think a couple of guys from here are going out to Tunisia tomorrow. I think Harry Wendelkin said he was going out. Sean Hodkins on his way there from Egypt.
Yeah, we have a few new players this week. It's the fun aspect about the league. Different players coming in different weeks.
I'll tell you what, Elise looked quite generous on that second serve there. She might regret that one.
Would that have been out in your book?
It looked more out than in.
So back to juice we go. Another battle of a service game for Appleton.
Yeah, there we go. Forehand serve and volley. I think that's going to happen a lot. If she gets that first serve where she wants it, I don't really see what else Elise can do than that shot she's given her there. With the grip that she's got on her forehand, she's going to struggle to get over the return. I mean, Emily must have been serving for a total of about 3/4 of an hour in this match so far.
And it's definitely more exhausting serving.
Nice hands there. Bit of dexterity in the change of volley. She spotted Elise going where she was going to go in the first place and just changed at the last second. Big. Elise has now won 5 times as many points when receiving serve as Emily has, and Emily's a break-up. Beauty of the tennis scoring system.
Great depth from Appleton in that point. It's another hold of serve, so it does continue to edge out in front.
I think what we can see so far is that the match is going to be on Emily's racket. It's whether she can execute those points, and Elise would have known that from the start. She's going to put the ball in and see if Emily can finish it off.
Nice change up though in the return of serve from Appleton there.
Yeah, she's got a lot of variations, Emily. Really skillful player.
15.
I don't think Dave will mind that too much though. Emily's sitting a stall out, she's going after it. If you're going to make errors going for balls when you're a break up, it's a good time.
Yeah, that's something he said after their match earlier on in the week where Maloney got the better of Appleton. Wanted her to be a bit more aggressive.
Yeah, I don't think Dave's ever going to be disappointed with Emily being more aggressive. That's what he wants. That's where she's going to win her tennis matches.
But right now, Maloney's service game is far more straightforward than Appleton's.
Yeah, it's almost like she had that sort of 4-point spell at the end of her first service game where she went to sleep a bit, and other than that, she's been really dominant on her own serve.
Wait, please. Maloney.
So Maloney holds still one break in it,
Appleton leads
3-2 to Appleton.
3 games to 2.
So ladies' final action continues. Emily Appleton, the Roland Garros towel. She played in the juniors there, had to sit an A level in the middle of Roland Garros. She had an invigilator come to her hotel room, and it was economics that day.
Wow.
She was 10 in the world in the junior circuit. Now 21 years old, ranked 693 in the world. But this year, certainly looking to get her ranking up.
If she plays like she's played the last few weeks, there'll be no problem with that. She's played a fair bit above that kind of ranking.
Yeah, she's been ranked 501 a few years ago. So I'm sure we'll be looking to break the top 500.
Yeah.
She's played some big names as well. One that she shouts about now is defeating Iga Świątek, the current Roland Garros champion, when they were juniors. They played 3 times in 2017.
Świątek was a hell of a junior as well.
She's played also another Grand Slam champion, Bianca Andreescu. Didn't beat her on that occasion.
Right. Elisa's had love 30 on each of Emily's service games. She's going to have to take advantage at some stage. And there we go, that serve volley to the forehand again on the juice court.
15-30.
That's not an easy volley there that Emily's just put away. A high backhand one is tough. She's really crisply cut the angle off there. There's no chance that's coming back. Oh, that's big. It's such a strange thing to see her running around that forehand to hit a backhand.
She does it well, though.
Yeah. She times that backhand beautifully, to be fair.
Once again, has some breakpoint chances on the Appleton serve. Wow.
Big, yeah. It's a strange one that though, because I think that Elise will be quite happy with that point. She'll be happy to sort of try and tempt Emily into those shots and be of a mindset if Emily can make them. Fair enough, she deserves to win. But I think Elise is going to probably win this match by winning the longer rallies and trying to tempt Emily into bad decisions. That wasn't a bad decision, by the way. That was a good decision. And 2 more break points coming this, though.
Yeah, Maloney has created a number of chances. It was Appleton who broke in the first game of the match. It's like she's listening to you.
She didn't quite do enough on that volley there. Gave Elise half a chance. Elise backhand passing shot, she'd be disappointed there. But again, it's a good play for Emily. She's always going to get the volley on it. And she's a really good volleyer.
Once again, comes back from 15-40 down. Consolidates. I wonder what the notes are that are being taken right now.
Yeah, we'll have to ask Dave after whether he'll let us into the charting book. I think Emily will be a little bit disappointed since the first game that she's had no impact on Elise's serve. Might be a little bit of a concern for Dave. Again, it's a good error though, that going after the ball. No problem at all with that. Nice change it from Elise there, kind of fade out, backhand inside out. Again, a shot that you don't face very often, so it's a different experience stepping up to it. It's such a strange match. Emily's won, apart from the game that she broke, she's won 1 point on Elise's serve. Good counter. Yeah, redirected well.
Maloney staying in touching distance. Appleton still out in front. 4-3 in this first set. So this Maloney, 20 years old, from Dorset, looking to try and win her first week of UK Pro League 2021. Was a runner-up in week 2 to her opponent today, Emily Appleton. Appleton, the winner of both weeks so far, defeated Beth Gray in the final of week 1, and then Maloney in the final of week 2.
Love 50.
Maloney had Joe Jury in her corner all of week 2. On the world number 5, of course. He's one of the coaches at the Jet Academy, where Elise trains. I'm sure she'll be watching right now. Another great week for Elise Maloney. Undefeated so far. Came 8th in week 1, finalist in week 2. Certainly a finalist
love 30 again.
Love 30.
This match is throwing up some interesting patterns.
Yeah, following a very stern pattern at the minute. We might as well just start all of Emily's games at love 30 and 30 love to Elise on her serve.
Yeah, the last three, Maloney's been 15-40 on the Appleton serve.
We'll sometimes play games in training where we'll start each game at love 30 and it's kind of like that watching that game.
As a handicap.
Serve to the forehand. I don't think we've got any graphics here, but if we could, I think you'd see that 75-80% of the serves are going to Elise's forehand, especially on the deuce court. She can even serve volley on it a little bit more than she has done, I think. She's always going to get that chip back.
Pushes it long though.
Yeah.
15-14.
And once again, 15-40.
There we go.
Yeah, breakthrough for Elise Maloney in this women's final. We're back on serve. She's had to work hard for it.
Yeah. And again, I think that's testament to what we were saying earlier, that Elise doesn't let things phase her. She's had opportunities so far in the match and hasn't taken them, but never really seemed too bothered about it and is always there ready to play. No matter what the scoreboard says, she's always going to play the same level. She always brings the same standard. But again, the dynamic changes now, though. She's been holding serve pretty easily when she's been behind. The pressure just moves a little bit back towards Elise now. Really good length there.
15.
Bit of frustration for Appleton now as well. You mentioned that Maloney doesn't really think about the scoreboard, or certainly doesn't let on that she does. I'm sure Appleton is thinking about it now.
Good play from Emily. Just frustrated she missed that last ball. It's been a strange one in that regard, though, I think, though, Jenny, in that although Emily has been in front, it would feel like she's been under pressure more than Elise has for the whole time.
Yeah, the momentum has been going back and forth.
She's going to start wanting to give Elise 30 love starts in every game, though. I think that's Elise has got to 30 first in every game of the match so far. That's not sustainable for Emily. She'll have to change that if she's going to come through. Got to 30 first, and she's had the first game point in every game of the match as well. It just kind of builds on the play, like in Emily's position when that happens, that you just constantly feel the press of what your opponent's doing, even if you're winning the games.
Game, Maloney.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maloney out in front
Maloney
in this
leads
match for the
5
very first
games
time.
to 4.
She leads 5-4. What a match so far for Maloney. 3 games on the trot. She's turned this one around.
Yeah, she has, and a real change of dynamic as well here, because it's going to be the first time that Emily's serving from behind in the match, and she's really going to not want to let Elise get the first 2 points again. She can't let her get to love 30.
Yeah, what's going through both of their minds right now? What has Appleton got to do differently?
I mean, I'd 100% be served volley into the forehand on the first point. She's going to get a put away volley if she does that. Give her a good start into it. I think Elise will just be thinking, do exactly what you've been doing. She's played great on the return games. Doesn't need to change anything at all.
Got her Wimbledon towel in hand. Played junior Wimbledon a couple of times as Maloney.
Yeah, she was a good junior. I think she's always at her best when she's been aggressive, and I think I'd feel pretty confident in saying that if she was aggressive in this game, she'll hold serve. She's aggressive and relaxed, should I say.
So now Emily Appleton with something to think about, serving to stay in this opening set in this women's final.
So she would have got a put away volley there. It came back with interest, but she would have had a shoulder high volley. Bit lucky there, Elise. Emily couldn't really do much with that at all.
Well, there's certainly some pressure on Appleton right now.
There's that inside out backhand that Elise said that's her favourite shot. You can see why. Really opens the court up.
Yeah, the angle she's able to get on the ball
Yeah.
just pulls her opponent out of position.
Again, it's a different look from what you see against any other player. The ball's coming from somewhere you don't expect it to come from.
So 3 set points for Elise Maloney.
Big.
What
big.
a response
Yeah.
from Appleton.
Emily's, she was 3 break points down there. She's not done a whole lot wrong, to be fair, in this game. Emily's got a little bit lucky and hit a couple of really good shots. It's the right play again. She just didn't quite get that serve into the zone enough. She made it. No, just missed it.
Third sequence.
Missed by a whisker. Appleton did well to get up to that
Did really
return.
well. She did really well, and then put the pressure on. Her net position was really good. She didn't offer Elise much room to hit either way.
Well, she saved 2 set points. Still has 1 more to face.
That's what you find with good net players. It's not just the volleys they hit; they take up really good positions at the net, and that's what Emily did there.
Game in the first set.
Well,
Maloney.
as Maloney takes the opening set, 4 games on the trot by 6 games to 4. Welcome back to the women's final at UK Pro League. We're going to now chat to Elise Maloney, who's just won the opening set. Elise, that was a battle and a half, 4-2 down, and you took it 6-4. What were your thoughts on it?
It felt really close from the beginning. Like once I got broken first game, I thought this is going to be a challenge, but then I think I had opportunities in most of her service games following, and just managed to take them at the latter end of the set.
I think time was just called there, Elise, so we're going to have to leave it there for now, but thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
What an interesting opening set it was. And Appleton, I'm sure, will be thinking of her missed opportunities.
Yeah, it's such a strange set, that one. I've not seen many sets that were like that. 'Cause Emily was in the lead the whole time, but you always felt that Elise had a bit more
Second set.
sort of purchase in the match, if that makes sense. And sort of played out like we said at the start, that Elise just doesn't let the scoreboard worry her. She knew she was playing her game. She knew she was doing what she wanted to do, and even though she was behind for the majority of it, she always looked pretty comfortable. And if you're getting ahead in each game the way that Elise is doing, it just puts so much pressure on your opponent and relaxes you a bit more.
Love 50.
That's the point that Emily would want to start this set. Which stops Elise getting 30 love or love 30, which is the main thing.
Appleton sending a message, certainly in that point, moving up the court.
It's a good response, and we always say in tennis, it doesn't matter what's happened, it's how you respond to what's happened. And she looks really focused still. Emily will know what her game plan is, she'll know what her strategy is, what she wants to do. It's just a case of sticking to it even when you're a little bit nervous, even when it's not getting the results that you quite want. You've got to play it over the full match.
Love 40.
She missed it. Had that ball on her racket, and now what a chance for Appleton right at the beginning of this second set.
Yeah, again, big change. And you won't see many people hitting backhands from the position that Elise just hit that backhand from. She had 1 foot in the forehand tram line.
Wow.
2 double faults from Maloney in that game. Interesting because Appleton could barely get a handle on the Maloney serve in the opening set, other than the very first game of the match where she did break.
Yeah, I think Elise, she's gifted a little bit to her there as well, though. She's hit. Elise has hit 2 double faults and a missed backhand there. I think Emily played a pretty decent point on one of them, but Elise will be really disappointed with what's happened there. But yeah, as we've seen there, Elise taking 2 out of 13 break points.
She had so many opportunities on the Appleton serve, but took her chances.
I think I'm right in saying as well she missed her first 11, and she took 2 out of the last 2.
So a topsy-turvy match. Lots of ebbs and flows. New balls though for Appleton. She'll enjoy that to serve with.
Yeah, balls fly through the air a little bit more. Probably had a little effect on that one just then.
Big serving from Appleton. Bit of a change up there directly to the body of Maloney. Well, Appleton thinking that was an ace. Called out. That's maybe got her a little bit fired up.
Bit of aggression in that one there, wasn't there? Really went after that smash. Good feeling to do that.
Yeah, he didn't want to be the tennis ball on that occasion.
She's going to have to do more with that, especially if she's going into Elise's backhand. It's strange how it plays out, isn't it? Because every time that Emily has been aggressive, she's winning the points. And every time she sort of plays a bit more tentative, tries to place it a little bit more, then Elise gets back in the point.
Another tough service game for Appleton. Had numerous juices in their service games in the first set.
Yeah, I don't think either of them have played great in the service games in this set so far. There's a lot of errors. A lot of bad decisions. Again, that's another poor one there from Elise. She'd not going to be happy with that at all. I don't think her coaches will either. She's going to win this match. She's got to win those longer rallies, and pushing rally balls long isn't going to do it.
And this is their 7th match of the week. All players guaranteed 7 matches. So I'm sure a bit of fatigue an element today, mentally and physically.
Both players seem to have lost their feel on their second serves at the minute. They're not just missing, they're missing by quite a bit. Oh, it's a great pass really good balance.
Advantage Maloney.
Managed to generate so much pace on that as well.
So breakpoint chance for Maloney to break right back.
Couple of really scrappy games from both players.
1 game on.
She does break. So back level. It's really hard to call which way this match is going to go. There's so many different ebbs and flows.
Yeah, you get the feeling it's going to be another close set, and then one of them might get a little bit tight, or the other one will take charge of it a little bit more. It's not a bad play, that, from Emily. I think she was hoping that Elise had missed the pass, but I think she could have probably got a racket on that. Just a little bit of frustration now creeping in for Emily. She's experienced enough, though. She'll probably be able to balance that out. Needs a couple of big shots to change the momentum a little bit.
And trying to change it up in that rally. Tucked in a short slice.
Yeah, it's a smart play. She's not giving Elise the point that she wants. She probably needs to do that a whole lot more, get to the net a little bit more herself, bring Elise in with some short slices, some angles, that kind of thing. Pass again. She's a couple of really good stretch backhand passes down the line.
40-15.
Will Appleton be taking note of those passes? It's always the backhand she's gone to.
It is, yeah, but she also might be thinking she's had to hit 2 really good shots to get the point, and whether she can do that. It's all well and good when it's 1-all in the set and 1-all 30-15, but I'm interested to know whether she'll get the same outcome if she came in on the same shot when it's, say, 4-all, 30-all. There's a little bit more tension in Elise's arm.
So Maloney holds serve. She is out in front.
Maloney leads 2 games to 1.
Set. 2 games to 1. Ladies' final action continues here at the Dan Maskell Tennis Centre in Loughborough. Emily Appleton, winner of week 1 and 2, has a battle on her hands as Elise Maloney leads by a set and 2-1. Appleton on the defence the whole way through that point, not playing her game.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a feeling now that Elise has got Emily a little bit in a spider's web of game plan that she likes to play, where it's sort of hitting balls from the back, stretching the rallies on, and it can feel a little bit helpless for the opponent if she's if she's hitting a length.
Well, what a stunning passing shot from the forehand on this occasion from Maloney. Appleton now in some trouble.
Again, she's got to do a little bit more with the approach though on that one.
What a
Emily can
stunning
hit that
passing
forehand
shot from
big.
the forehand.
Just some tension in the arm there. Should be thankful for that.
15, 30.
Just needs a little bit of something from Elise's racket at the minute, you get the feeling.
Well, right now,
15, 14.
feels that Maloney has the upper hand. 2 breakpoint chances here. It was Appleton who had the break of serve in the opening game of this set, led by a break in the first set too.
Good serve.
30.
Need another one. These matches, when there's a final set tiebreak, these matches can change so quick though. It feels definitely like Elise has got a lot of the momentum at the minute, but at the same time, Emily's probably still only 25 minutes away from winning the match if she comes up with a few big shots.
Well handled. That wasn't easy.
It was, but not great anticipation from Elise there. There's only really one shot that Emily could play, and don't know what Elise thought was going to happen. It's below the height of the net. Don't see what else she could have done other than drop shot.
That wasn't easy.
It seems strange to say, but there's not a great deal wrong with Emily's tactics at the minute. It's the execution, I think, that she's just not quite been able to relax her arm enough to hit through these balls. But she's trying to be aggressive. She's trying to get to the net. That's how she's going to win it if she is. She just needs to loosen up. That's a good point. Brave point as well. She's keeping coming. You can tell she's not relented off her tactics. She hasn't got negative in that way. It's just a little bit in the arm. Those points will always help. They'll convince her that she can win points from the net.
That's a good point.
Oh, she made it.
Well,
I think it was in, actually. Not sure how much Emily knew about it. She definitely took advantage of all the racket there.
and Maloney thinks it was wide, but didn't call it, and that's what the chair umpire is saying to her.
I always think that's a strange rule in tennis. It was either in or it wasn't. I'm not sure there's a time limit on how late you can call it, and if there is, then what is it? Yeah, it's in.
Oh, she made it.
I'm sure, well, Maloney would like to see that replay herself, so...
It's a little bit out of character for Elise. I don't know what she's arguing with there.
So...
She wasn't sure it was in, so she wasn't sure it was out, so it's a strange argument to have.
Is advantage Appleton.
Back to where we were anyway.
Similar situation to the first set. Long games, well, one lasted over 20 minutes. Goodness me, that net card is just devilish.
It is, but I think Emily deserved that one. She really went after. She went after the drive volley, didn't hold back, and then went after the smash and didn't hold back. She really had a crack at that. If she didn't let the arm go like she did, that ball wouldn't have gone over.
I'm sure she breathed a small sigh of relief.
That's big. Big game for Emily to win that one.
Yeah, save break points once again. Back level 2-all. There's really not a lot in it. Been some very tight games. Liz Maloney looking for 7th win of the week.
That's a really good play, though, again from Emily there. Just Elisa has hit a pretty good shot, to be fair, but if she keeps doing that, the tighter the match gets, I think that's the way that Emily's going to win the match.
Just trying to throw Maloney off her rhythm. Loves to just hug the baseline and rally it out. A love hold for Maloney.
Maloney
She
leads.
is leading
Three games to
3-2
two.
in this second set, and with a set to the good. Well, we are locked in a battle in this women's final between 20-year-old Elise Maloney and 21-year-old
Keeps doing that, they tighten the match
Emily
again.
Appleton. Appleton led 4-2 in the opening set. Maloney taking it 6 games to 4. And we're on serve here in the second. She is celebrating after making that huge forehand.
She can do that though. That's not an out of the ordinary shot for Emily. That's a shot that she would make most times.
It's just been misfiring ever so
Yeah.
slightly this afternoon.
Just a little bit of tension in the arm and in the upper body. There's not as much rotation, not as much rhythm or momentum. A little bit of respite on her own serve for the first time in a while. Good play. She didn't quite do enough with the volley. I think she thought Elise was out at the point.
It's a great pickup from Maloney here.
Yeah.
She really is an unbelievable fighter. Coach Joe Jury told me that she's always been that way, always had that fighting spirit.
Can't be coming into the backhand like that.
30.
So from 30 love to 30 all. This is dangerous territory. Set down 2-3. Bit of pressure here on Appleton's shoulders.
Oh, it's a really good adaptation there from Emily. Had to change what she had planned mid-motion.
Yeah, the adjustment key for Appleton.
That's where her doubles comes in. She's a really good doubles player, Emily. Just the ability to sort of pick those low balls up from the net and change at the last minute. She's so good at that stretch backhand, isn't she?
Use.
Just used Appleton's pace.
Yeah.
Now back to deuce. Surprise, surprise on the Appleton serve.
I'm just trying to think, has she had a game where it's not been to deuce on her serve? I don't think she has.
That's got to play over and over in your mind as well.
Yeah, especially when you're a player who usually dominates on serve. You're used to just walking, cruising through your service games.
And that's what can happen.
Advantage, Maloney.
It's just relentless from Maloney. She doesn't miss a lot of balls either. Now breakpoint chance.
Good serve to the forehand.
Use.
She's having to really hit her spots to get 3 points on those first serves now, though.
My goodness me. So interesting to watch the way Maloney plays. Running round that forehand to hit a backhand.
There's a little bit of hesitation there as well in Emily early on in the point. She hit a really big forehand and it was always going to be a floated ball back from Elise, and I think Emily should have got to the net. She didn't. She held back and ended up getting into a rally again.
Well, Maloney gets the crucial break of serve.
Game, Maloney.
And she looks in control right now
4 games.
by a set and a break.
Emily's really cut down on those serve volleys as well, hasn't she, in this set? I don't think we've seen one at all. She's getting a lot of success with those in the first set.
The head-to-head between these two ladies, 3 apiece. Already played each other this week. Maloney got the better of Appleton. And right now, she is looking on course for another victory against her. Right now, Appleton cannot find a way past Maloney.
Yeah, she moves so well, Liz. It's almost like a strength, a shot strength in itself that she's really struggling to get her out of position at the minute.
Yeah, Appleton just turned away.
A little bit of anger there, wasn't there?
More than a little bit.
Again, though, she's not giving, because Elisa's played really well in the first 2 points, but she's getting this buffer of 30 love in every game. Just leaves Emily with so much to do that she's having to win 3-4 points in a row every game just to get the game. It's unconventional what Elise does, but there's no correct way to play tennis. It's anywhere over the net and between the lines.
Well, the only match that Appleton has lost this year is to her opponent earlier this week. And now Maloney is just one game away from victory.
5 games to 2.
She leads 5-2. Welcome back to the continuation of this Week 3 ladies final. Liz Maloney in the driving seat currently. Leads by a set in 5-2. Now Emily Appleton has to serve to stay in this match.
It's each point at a time now. Just try and get chip away at the lead. Don't look too far in front. Get a hold here, and she knows that Elisa's not going to serve her off the court. She'll have a swing at most points in Elisa's service game if she can hold here.
That looked as if Appleton's running out of options.
Yeah, it looked like she's pressing for something that isn't quite there.
Got the better of Maloney in that longer exchange, though.
There'll always be errors from Elisa's forehand because of the grip. That's the same shot as she had earlier on in the set when she was more relaxed, more confident, and punched it cross court. That one stuck in two minds whether to go conventional volley or high drive backhand volley.
Yeah, it just seems like Maloney has worn her down.
Yeah, she's just doubting herself too much, Emily, now, I think. Just something she wasn't doing in the first 2 weeks.
That error extremely costly for Appleton because it brings up 2 match points.
Two good serves when she needed them.
So manages to save both match points, gets herself back to juice.
Three good serves.
Advantage Appleton.
Because the only point that you absolutely have to win in tennis is your opponent's match point. We always hear a lot about must-win points, but that's the only actual must-win point. She saved two of them. Three of them. Well, four in a row.
Much better stuff from Appleton.
5 games to 3.
Looking like the confidence had dwindled. Pulled back.
This is where it could get interesting, because whenever you want to close a match out, you want big shots, and Elise hasn't really got any huge cannons of shots, so she might have to go the long way around here to get this one done. Emily needs to make a play, choose her spots well, try and put the pressure on. Good decisions. That's not one of them. Wasn't a terrible choice, but I don't know why she didn't get in on the previous shot. I think the way that she's going to break here is by waiting for opportunities and getting into Elisa's forehand. She got a chance, she hit big into the forehand and held back, and she would have had a shoulder high put away volley. Good hitting. Letting the arm go a little bit more now.
Yeah, trying to get herself going.
Yeah.
Showcasing her fighting spirit.
The two missed returns in this game will really disappoint her.
So now another 2 match points, but this time on the Maloney serve.
There's a little bit of tension there from Elise, I think. She had a forehand there and could have ripped it, but just stroked it. A little bit of tension in the arm. Emily played it well. I think that's what she's got to do. She's got to get to the net and tell Elise to pass her if she thinks she can under the pressure points.
An absolute roar
Yeah.
from Appleton there. She is fighting hard right now. 4 match points saved.
It seems strange to say it, doesn't it? Because she's 6-4, 5-3 up. But the one thing that Elise hasn't been good at in this match is taking game points. Good play from Emily again. And again, definitely some tension there from Elise, hitting 2 slice forehands.
Now a chance for Appleton to break the Maloney serve.
Interesting to see what she does here, whether she really goes after it. She did, just couldn't quite execute it. Just slowed down a little bit on contact. That's always going to lead to an error. You always need your follow through to be the fastest part of the swing. That wouldn't have been the case there.
Oh, that was a power backhand.
Went for it. You see there, she really went after it. Really, the swing sped up more and more towards the end. Again, it's tough to criticise her there. She knows she's doing the right thing. She's going after the return. I doubt she's going to get an error at break point from Elise. She's going to have to win one. Lovely knife in slice there, wasn't it?
Advantage Appleton.
Didn't have a lot of space either, but extremely accurate. Now has a third chance to break the Maloney serve. That's too good.
Yeah, some great backhands there. Really brave as well to be going after those shots, and such a pressure point in the match. Didn't let off them at all.
Advantage Appleton.
Appleton finally gets an error from Maloney.
Yeah, it's very scrappy now from Elise, isn't it? Very up and down. Definitely a little bit of tension there. She knows she's close to winning the match. Hasn't won one of these Pro Series before. A chance there.
Deuce.
You can understand there being tension. This will be sufficiently the biggest prize money that Elise has ever won, if she won it.
Yeah, £4,250. The winner takes home.
It's a big amount of money for a 19-year. 19?
20.
20, yeah. Game changer for them. bit different from the £200 she'd be picking up for winning a British tour. 5th match point here.
Yeah, 5th match point for Liz Maloney.
Missed one of her favourite shots there.
This match, we knew it was going to be a battle coming into it, and it certainly lived up to expectation.
This game alone is probably about 15 minutes, and it's nowhere near the longest game of the match.
Maloney.
Match point number 6. Sixth time lucky.
Is that what they say? That's what she'll be hoping for.
Interesting that she's gone to move that ball there. I'm not sure that would have affected the point much. I'd always like to just get on with the second serve and not have that break in between.
Oh,
she saved it.
Oh, you're kidding me. A lifeline for Emily Appleton.
Is it a game changer, a crossroads, that one?
Goodness me. Both players fighting so hard.
It was great anticipation from Emily there. She 2 shots in a row, I think. She knew where the ball was going. It was just a case of executing the volley. She's a very good volleyer. Lucky there, painted a line and then net cord that killed the point, that one. Number 7. I'd love to know what Elise's game point 1 percentage is in this whole match.
Yeah, she had 13 breakpoint chances in the first set. Took 2 of them. 2 vital ones. Now looking to get over the line here.
It's great backhand to finish with.
Well, Liz Maloney is the queen of week 3 of UK Pro League 2021. Undefeated this week. What a performance from the 20-year-old. She takes the crown away from Emily Appleton, who was a winner of weeks 1 and 2. This time got her revenge. Beat her earlier on in the week and now did it when it mattered most. And I'm sure absolute delight for Liz Maloney.
Yeah, she'll be loving that. She's had a good week. She's probably deserved winner this week, I think. Emily's had another good one. It'd feel like a disappointment. She just lost in the final. She's lost 2 matches in 3 weeks. But yeah, as we said, both players were set in their game plans what they wanted to do. Eliz just executed hers a bit better than Emily did today.
And she's so good at playing when she's down in a set as well. It was Appleton who had the break of serve in that first set, 4-2. and then it was 4 straight games for Maloney. Look at those numbers. How interesting is that? 4 from 21 break points, but yet she was won the match.
Yeah, I mean, you want to be taking about a third of your break points to be successful, and Emily's actually done that with 2 out of 6. But the problem is she gave away 21 break points on her own serve, so that was always going to come home to roost. And 49% first serve, Emily would be disappointed with that. It's tough to win if that's your first serve percentage, especially for somebody who relies so much on their serve. 49% points won on first serve.
So Liz Maloney is the week 3 winner. She has defeated Emily Appleton 6-4, 6-3. I'm sure Appleton will be a little disappointed not to win 3 weeks on the trot. But that's a credit to Liz Maloney, who came 8th in week 1, finalist in week 2, and then now she is the winner of week 3. Picks up £4,250 as well for her efforts. And we can now go courtside where Marcus is with Liz Maloney.
Well, Liz, many, many congratulations. Runner-up last time, champion this time, undefeated throughout the week. Just sum up your emotions after all of that.
Just so relieved, especially after that last game. Felt like it went on forever, but I'm happy to close it out.
Yeah, the match points kept coming and kept going. How tense did you start feeling?
Yeah, legs felt a bit shaky, especially on your own serve, like having to start the point off. But you'd rather serve it out, so yeah.
You also had so many break points throughout the contest, 21 altogether, particularly in that first set. How frustrated were you? How difficult to retain your patience was it at that stage?
Yeah, I mean, in one way it was good because I felt like I was making inroads into Emily's serve, but then not taking any. I thought, will one ever come? But luckily it did.
And a word about Emily, who's been so magnificent, of course, winning week 1 and week 2. You did beat her in the group stage this week. How much confidence did that give you?
Definitely a lot coming into today, because I hadn't beaten her on these courts. But I think because she's playing so well, it definitely made me raise my game as well.
What makes her so difficult to play against?
She's serving so well at the moment, and just the second ball, she follows it up really well, so it's sometimes just hard to get a look in.
And we've heard your contemporaries talk about your mentality and your movement in particular. Are those the attributes of your game that you are most proud of?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Definitely areas that I look to bring into every match, no matter how I'm feeling.
And obviously, you're feeling excited now, you're going to go and party. What are the plans after this? Will we see you for week 4? Do you know what your schedule is over the next couple of months or so?
Yeah, I'll be back for week 4. I've got a picnic tomorrow to look forward to. Hopefully it'll be sunny.
Where are you going for your picnic?
Richmond Park.
Ah, with the family to celebrate, I presume?
Yeah, and actually I'm going with Danielle, the other player here.
Well, enjoy that. Many, many congratulations. You are the week 3 winner.
Thank you.
So well done to Elise, and Gigi's going to come in, and commiserations to Emily, who has produced another fantastic performance this week. Gigi, it was exciting towards the end. We heard Elise talking about all those match points that came and went. Eventually she got the job done. I'm not quite sure how in the end.
I thought it was really interesting that we saw earlier their colleagues talking about their strengths, and the 2 strengths that you just mentioned to Elise were her movement, which is clear for everyone to see, but it's the mental side of her game. We've seen in week 2 against Beth Gray when she was down and most people thought out, but she turned it around, almost as though she's oblivious of what the score is. She keeps going, she keeps fighting. And to be that mentally strong, to have 21 break points, but as she said, it was a positive for her. She was making inroads on the Appleton serve and game. That was giving her the cut. Some may have said, well, I just can't make the breakthrough. But with Maloney, she was looking at it saying, well, hang on a second, I'm getting these opportunities. It will come good. And it did come good.
Yes. I'm going to be honest and confess that when the 6th match point came and went, she had an opportunity to go up the line and she didn't pass Emily. She managed to get the volley back into the open court. I turned to you and said, I'm not sure if she's going to win this one. That shows what I know.
Well, you didn't have to admit that, because I wasn't going to come out here and say that
I thought you would.
that you said that to me. But you could see why you were going down that path, that she had those 6 match points, and you could see that Emily Appleton was growing in confidence, that it was just the one break. But as far as Emily Appleton goes, she faced break points on every single one of her service games. It's very rare with someone with the strength of serve that she has to not have a clean hole throughout the entire match.
Well, we'll have a look back at some of the key moments in the contest, and I mentioned to Elise all those breakpoint opportunities that she had, 21 of them. But Emily actually came up with some fantastic winners to stay in that first set for as long as she did.
Yeah, she did. As I touched on, every game was massive for Emily Appleton, but especially at the start when she got the very early break on Elise Maloney. Then to have to save 4 break points and to keep herself with that slight advantage early on. She was effectively going love 30 on every single one of her service games throughout that match. She was starting 2 points down and having to turn it round as much as she could. I mean, the fight from both of these players who know each other so well, who have already faced each other on day 2 of this week. It was quite incredible to see the back and forth between the two, especially through this first set, then into the second.
Yeah, well, you actually put the mockers on Emily's serve because you said that was going to be the key to the contest, and in some ways it was, of course.
Well, in future, I'm not going to say anything. It's an integral part of her game, the serve, and she wasn't getting enough first serves, which is something that she will clearly admit. And each time she was having to fight, but then match point number 7, it was game, set, and match. And for Elise Maloney, 8th in week 1, runner-up in week 2, and now top, £4,250 and 18 points.
Yeah, and we mentioned the rivalry at the start of the match, the fact that they've now played each other 4 times, and we can look forward, I suspect, to a few more intriguing battles before we get to week 9 in December.
I think we can. I think it's interesting that Emily has said that she finds it difficult to play the same players over and over again, and that is what is going to happen largely here at the UK Pro League. So it's a test for her. How does she overcome that? For Elise Maloney, it's how does she overcome losing to someone? She has turned that around. But I like the way at the end, she's a very professional athlete. You suggested she was going to go out partying.
Well, she said she's going for a picnic in
It's
Richmond.
very different to partying.
She can have a drink, a glass of something.
Oh, can she?
Can't she?
I don't well.
You're a tough one, you are. Well, I hope she enjoys herself. She is our winner of week 3. We've still got the men's singles final to come, but after the break, it's the men's 3rd place playoff when Julian goes for the cash against George Houghton. We'll see you in a moment.
How interesting is that? 4 from 21 break points, but yet she's won the match.
Yeah, I mean, you aim to, you want to